The director of John Wick just walked away from Lionsgate and took a $180 million franchise reboot with him. It wasn't just any project, it was Highlander, a bold reimagining of the 1986 cult classic backed by Queen's legendary soundtrack, but this time with Henry Cavill wielding the blade. Here's the catch. Lionsgate didn't drop it. Chad Stahelski took it straight to Amazon. So what happened? Today we're diving into the budget battles, Cavill's rocky box office history, and why Amazon is quietly cornering the market on throwback action IPs. And if you like behind the scenes deep dives like this, hitting like and subscribing really helps the channel and keeps videos like this coming. Welcome to Screen Scramble. Let's dive in. Why Chad Stahelski walked? Chad Stahelski didn't just direct John Wick, he helped build an entire cinematic universe. He started as a stunt coordinator, transformed Keanu Reeves into an action icon, and turned a low-budget project into one of the most successful original franchises of the last decade. But after John Wick, Chapter 4, Stahelski wanted something different. Not just another sequel or spin-off. He wanted a passion project, something bold, timeless, and personal. That project was Highlander. Stahelski had loved the 1986 original since childhood. The movie's combination of fantasy, gritty swordplay, and mythic storytelling stuck with him. He saw an opportunity not just to remake it, but to reimagine it, modernize it, ground it, and do it 100% his way. He started developing the reboot all the way back in 2016. By 2024, it looked ready to go. But then something unexpected happened. The project left Lionsgate, and it didn't just vanish, it reappeared at Amazon under the banner of United Artists. So what happened behind the scenes? Why Highlander mattered to him? So what happened behind the scenes? For Stahelski, Highlander was more than intellectual property, it was a personal challenge. He didn't want to simply update the story, he wanted to take what fans loved and give it new depth, cinematic edge, and emotional gravity. He told The Wrap, "We're trying to encapsulate everything you loved about the original with more, meaning we want to ground it, we want it to be a great chance at world building and mythology, but we still want to keep it fun. It's like the Wick movies. You want to experience this world, you want to believe it's real, but it's also 5 degrees off from reality. This is a movie with immortals running around chopping each other's heads off. There's a certain ridiculousness to it. It's like the Wicks. We ride the tone. Everybody in the movie thinks it's real, but we as an audience can get our heads around it. Look, suspend disbelief. We're trying to get you on board for this amazing journey with people who have lived hundreds of years. It's a challenge, but I'm very excited." He also confirmed that the Queen's soundtrack, the beating heart of the original, would return. When asked if the music would be reused, he answered yes, probably in a different way than you think, but hardcore yes. Stahelski saw Highlander not as a remake, but as a resurrection, with modern production values and a deep respect for the source material. The budget battle that broke the deal. The major conflict? Budget and creative control. Stahelski reportedly asked for $180 million to realize his full vision for Highlander. Lionsgate, cautious and cost-conscious, capped their offer at $165 million. While that $15 million gap might seem minor in Hollywood terms, it represented a much deeper philosophical divide. Stahelski wanted expansive world building, large-scale set pieces, and practical effects to honor the legacy of the original while elevating it for modern audiences. But Lionsgate was hesitant. The studio's recent box office losses had them thinking small, not swinging big. Internally, executives labeled Highlander a one-quadrant movie, targeting Gen X men nostalgic for the original and its spin-off TV series. That narrow demo didn't justify a blockbuster budget, especially when broader, safer franchises were available. This wasn't just about the bottom line, it was about fear that an ambitious, myth-heavy fantasy wouldn't connect with modern audiences the way superhero films or action thrillers do. With another Stahelski-connected project, Ballerina, already on their 2025 slate, Lionsgate wasn't ready to double down. And the biggest wild card? Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill's box office curse. Henry Cavill is globally recognized. Superman, The Witcher, one of the most beloved actors on the internet. But recently, his box office draw hasn't matched his fandom. Lionsgate's The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, which starred Cavill, cost $60 million to produce and made just $26 million worldwide. Before that, Cavill led Argylle, a $200 million spy thriller backed by Apple and released by Universal. Despite massive promotion, it pulled in only $96 million globally. That's two expensive swings, two disappointing returns. So when Cavill signed on to Highlander, Lionsgate panicked. They feared this would be flop number 3, an expensive, star-driven misfire at a time when they couldn't afford another. But here's what numbers don't show. Cavill actually cares about this role. He's not just a star for hire, he's a fan. As he told MovieWeb, "I was a Highlander fan, they were great fun movies. Obviously I watched them when I was a lot younger and since rewatched, but also the TV show. I really enjoyed the lore behind it, that sort of sense of a tragic warrior with more of a story to tell than just a cool guy with a cool sword doing cool things. And this goes even deeper into that. To Lionsgate, the risk was financial. To Cavill and Stahelski, it was creative. And when Lionsgate blinked, Amazon pounced." Lionsgate retreats to safety. Lionsgate's new strategy is simple: play it safe. After a rough 2024, they're focusing on sequels and proven properties. They've greenlit another Hunger Games prequel and a third Now You See Me film, projects with wide appeal and mid-range budgets. Highlander was too much of a wild card. A high-concept fantasy with a niche audience and a star on a cold streak? It just didn't fit the current strategy. Stahelski was ready to go bold. Lionsgate wanted to go safe. So when Amazon came calling, the studio quietly stepped aside. And Amazon, they saw the opportunity. Amazon's big bet on 80s nostalgia. Amazon MGM Studios is on a mission, and it's powered by 80s nostalgia. They've acquired intellectual property like Masters of the Universe, Voltron, and now Highlander. But this isn't just random collecting, it's strategic. Their audience? Dad TV. Fans who love Reacher, Jack Ryan, and The Terminal List. Gritty action with legacy vibes. Highlander fits that perfectly. It's swords, it's lightning, it's Queen, and it has a rich mythology that blends perfectly with Amazon's streaming-first theatrical hybrid model. The streaming giant doesn't need it to be a Marvel-level hit, it just needs to crush on Prime and hold its own in theaters. Stahelski said of the film's scope and tone, "It's a bit of a love story, but not how you think." He also revealed more about the setting and Henry Cavill's character. The story is set in the Scottish Highlands in the early 1500s. From there, the plot repeatedly jumps to the present day, for example to New York and Hong Kong. The main character, played by Cavill, has acquired a multitude of martial arts experiences over 500 years. This should set him apart from Christopher Lambert's Highlander, who was mainly a master in sword combat. Amazon is betting on that difference. They want Highlander to feel old and new at the same time. Amazon's bigger picture. Amazon isn't just scooping up intellectual property, they're building a long-term strategy, and it's one that mirrors the golden era of major Hollywood studios. Producer Adrian Ascarier summed it up perfectly. Amazon MGM is establishing themselves as the kind of studio similar to what Warner Brothers was in the 90s and the 2000s. That means blending prestige dramas with populist hits and pairing established stars with calculated risk-taking. Their 2025 theatrical slate reflects this ambition. Their upcoming slate includes Project Hail Mary, with Ryan Gosling playing a stranded astronaut in a high-stakes sci-fi adaptation. Then there's Crime 101, a stylish heist thriller starring Chris Hemsworth that channels serious Heat vibes. And After the Hunt, directed by Luca Guadagnino, brings the kind of dramatic weight that could position them for major award season buzz. This isn't content chaos, it's brand cultivation in motion. Amazon is actively positioning itself as a studio known for high production value, star-driven theatrical releases that also feed its Prime Video ecosystem. With Highlander, Amazon fills the genre action slot on its theatrical calendar, but it also lets a bold filmmaker stretch, and that's something few streamers are offering right now. It's not just about reviving old properties, it's about creating consistency, familiar faces, event-level stories, a reason for audiences to care year after year. Will Highlander actually work? Let's be honest, most reboots don't work. RoboCop, Total Recall, The Dark Tower, all had name recognition. None lived up to the hype, but Highlander might have a fighting chance. It has lore, it has room for world building, and it's weird enough to feel fresh in a world flooded with superhero fatigue. Chad Stahelski's action credentials speak for themselves. Henry Cavill, despite box office stumbles, still has massive fan loyalty. And Amazon, they're not asking this movie to carry the weight of a billion-dollar franchise. They're asking it to carve out a space and build from there. If Stahelski brings his Wick-level precision and Cavill taps into that tragic warrior energy, we might finally get a reboot worth its sword. Lionsgate flinched. Amazon doubled down. Now Highlander lives again, backed by a streaming giant driven by a visionary director and fronted by a star who still has something to prove. It's a risky move, but in a world of safe bets and recycled scripts, maybe that's exactly what this reboot needs. So if you want to see more deep dives like this, tracking the behind-the-scenes battles that shape your favorite films, make sure to hit subscribe. We break stories down before they blow up. And until next time, scrambled out.